Is Brooke on there, Nick?
That's him right there.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Let me call in from my cell phone too, so I can have my headphone and speak to the headphone instead. So I'm gonna mute this and call in from another line too.
Okay,
Becky,
fine.
he's from Muller, right?
Yeah.
Becky, that's one of the gentlemen from Muller.
Okay,
We told them, make sure they announce themselves.
okay, very good.
5:30 now.
Okay, this is the November 15th meeting, the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District, 2105 Northeast Jefferson Avenue, Peoria, Illinois, 61603, and we will have roll call by Nick, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay. Trustee Wortham,
Present.
trustee Hare. Present. Trustee Ahart.
Present.
Trustee Polk.
Present.
Trustee McBride.
Here.
You have a quorum, man.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Now, we all received the minutes from the October 11th, 2021 meeting. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, the minutes stand approved. Okay. Do we have any communications, Doug? Can you hear me?
He can't. I don't believe we have any.
We do, we have one, I'll just go ahead and say it. We
Okay.
got one from the Peoria Public Schools thanking us for the donation of the passes that we gave them earlier in the year.
Okay, thank you.
That's it, Maxine.
Okay. Report from officers?
I have nothing.
Nothing? Okay, you ready for waiting on the committee? Okay. Well, we have one from Jeff, a report tonight. If you like to get up there or you like to stay there, it's your choice.
Oh, this is fine.
Okay.
So, I was able to attend the conference, the AFTA conference this year in Orlando. I'm thankful to be able to go, and I was very impressed with the content, the contacts with people that I met, and also the expo. It was very, impressive, all the hardware, buses and components and everything. I guess some of the things I learned, I'll just give you a few highlights, are that mass transit should be reliable, economical, and safe. It's kind of the tenets of what we need to do. One thing that I had thought of, but I heard emphasized, was about the first mile and the last mile of everybody's trip. Just how do we get people from their door to the vehicle and from the vehicle to their destination? But I know we've been talking about microtransit, which is great. I did some talking I followed some of our people through the exhibits and talked to some of the bus vendors, and that was real informative. And, yeah. There were some software apps. I know that we talked about those. I saw those exhibits. But some of the speakers, helped me think about planning. And I know what I say isn't, I know we do a lot of this at City of Lincoln. I haven't begun to explore all the things we do, but just some of the ideas they presented were just different options for how people, if they have a stroller, a car seat, a walker, how do we get all those things with them to get where they need to go? There are some ideas of how school transportation might be integrated with public transportation, and just with the shortage of school bus drivers. And I know that's something we dabbled in, but it's just something to think about. I thought it was interesting. And just to not put restrictions on the way we think about, like, well, we've always done it this way, or we tried it and it failed. So not to give up on those ideas. But I think one of the cool things was just I was just blown away how many other, I mean, obviously every city has, that's of our size or bigger, has public transit, and just how we can learn from them. They had a award ceremony that celebrated other cities that had they were rewarded for their innovative solutions. One was the LA Metro that tried to integrate to get kids to buy in or to know about mass transit from an early age, and even have, you know, sponsor them through school. That was pretty neat. There was one statistic that somebody quoted was that some people spend 40 to 50% of their income on transportation, which is just was something else. So, but yeah, another thing is just how do we understand our riders better? And I know a lot of you guys know them and how they think and work and operate. But like if the store closes, you know, where do they go, or how do we anticipate where they're going to go? You know, do we? You know, I know we do surveys, but how often, or things like that. There was a good the director of the transit in Seattle was saying that they're getting like HUD funds to build housing next to transit centers, so that people, you know, are right there. They don't need to own a car. So it's pretty innovative thinking. I don't know if we can work with agencies like Phoenix or other people that help the homeless or underhoused, whatever, to maybe reclaim some land near our bus terminals, or, you know, just things to think about. So, and they also talked about just how people in rural communities need transit very much. They had some legislators speak, talking about the big transportation bill that passed and how the money could be spent for. Yeah, so I thought it was just important to be involved with talking to our legislators on the state, local level, and federal level, not just when there's an important transit law, but just anytime, so we get in their ear, so to speak, or to build a relationship with them. So another seminar I talked about was about equity and how do we make sure we have equity even in, you know, in managerial board level positions. So yeah, I appreciate the time to go and to share some of the things I learned with y'all.
Thank you. And I'll share next week, so that we won't be sharing all night. Okay, but it was an excellent conference, I thought. Okay, report from standing committees, and thank you, Jeff.
Yes.
Okay, a report from standing committees.
McBride, I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, on one of my favorite topics, always, Stuff-a-Bus campaign.
Okay.
And I have a listing of the dates of special activities that are coming up and what's going on, and I'll go through that. On November 17th, which is Calendar Day, the public will receive a free calendar in exchange for the donation of food when they ride the bus, the transit center, or administrative offices. November 19th is a busy day, and it's the 8th annual Day of Stuffing, and it'll be at the Kroger store located on Lake Avenue from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. And what that is the bus is out in the parking lot, and people, individuals, and organizations will come out and bring items to put on the bus. And they seem to enjoy that because it gives them a bigger feel of more of an involvement. So anybody that you would know or any organizations that could come out for that, that would be very good. The problem with that is that it's always a crummy day, cold, windy, but we're familiar with that. Okay, later on that night, the 19th and on the 20th, they stuff a bus night at the Peoria Riverbend Games, and they're playing the Huntsville Havoc. I love that name. In non-perishable food, the game will receive a raffle tickets to win a signed authentic Peanuts Charlie Brown jersey. And there'll be the opportunity for that at those games. Then on November 27th, stuff a bus night at the Peoria Mustangs game, and fans who bring a donation of the non-perishable food will receive free entry to those games and special giveaway items. One donation is required per person for free entry. Then on November 30th will be the weigh-in day and press conference. And the final weight of food collected will be revealed at the press conference, and we're trying to collect 10 tons of donations this year. It's at the Peoria Friendship House of Christian Service at 10 a.m. in the morning. And it is just really a nice thing to attend. It gives you a real feel for being involved in the community and what we can do that's a little bit out of the norm. So I encourage all of you to attend one of these things that you can and donate some food. And Emily and Dennis Kaufman will go around and collect foods from the various establishments where that has been donated to get it on the bus early and get it seen a little more. Are there any questions?
You're still taking donations of money, right? Or checks, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Money, cash is easier for them.
Okay.
I forget who it has to go to if it's a check, but it gets fairly involved. So.
Okay. So you rather have cash?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
This is
I had a friend
Emily.
who wanted to give a check, and she gave cash, and I bought items in her name when I was at the store. So.
Okay. Emily?
Yes, we would certainly accept a check, but it is a little bit better to get cash because then I will personally go out and shop for food to put on the bus.
Okay.
It does get a little bit more complicated with checks. I did also want to mention our donations have been a little bit lower than usual this year so far. So if you can just spread the word about the food drive and donating at Kroger stores in Peoria and East Peoria, that would be great. We want to try to get that 10 tons of food on the bus before November 30th.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I think you have a committee report?
I do.
Thank you.
The External ADA Committee meeting was held on 10/13. It went very well. We had great attendance as we haven't met since February of 2021. Everyone was asked to reintroduce themselves and show and share something that they hadn't told us about before. So we learned about people that were twins, someone that was pregnant almost 8 months and didn't even look like it. So we were all shocked. The other thing I did was to ask members to participate in an activity because I think we need to have a buy-in as to what people do. So everybody was given a box and it says on the top, think outside of the box. Inside, they have cards. There are 3 orange, 1 yellow. The orange are for them to say what we can do in the community to make us better. The yellow is to say what we already do is great. They are to bring these boxes and these cards back to our meeting that's going to be in December. When they bring them back, they will all get their own personal glue stick and they can glue them around the box. Plus, there'll be a surprise that will go inside of the box that everybody will really like. Our next meeting, our Meeting will be December the 8th at 1 o'clock. It's going to be at TransDev. We're so excited that we're going to be out there. And then our next internal ADA meeting is going to be November 30th at 11:30. We're going to be discussing some financial issues that are relating to TransDev and to a marketing budget for the ADA committee. I have not received the information yet to attend the City of Peoria ADA board meeting, but I'm going to work on that, so I'll have a report next month. Thank you.
Thank you. And Chris, program not this month, okay? All right. Doug, are you there? General Manager's report?
He probably can't hear that you're calling on him. Do you want me to flip through his general manager's report? Because I can.
Oh, you can do it?
Yeah, I
Oh,
can.
Nick, be Doug tonight. Okay.
This is what Doug did.
Okay.
Let's see, he did his labor management meetings. He met with Bradley Business Department to discuss possible interns.
Okay.
Attended his finance committee meeting, went to our weekly construction meetings with River City. And he looks like he did his board of directors meetings with the Bus Coalition. And these also, we had our final meetings to apply for the microtransit grants, which we'll discuss when I do his report form up there.
Okay. So are you also going to do new facility update?
She's gonna do that. And then I have a quick slideshow to show all of you too.
Okay.
That's part of my
Thank you.
report. You can just sit right there.
Okay, thank you. All right, for the rear building, Peoria Metro wrapped up the footings. They're now working on the north and south of the retaining wall and waterproofing. Finch working on storm and miscellaneous backfill, some grading, and then the concrete ditch, which got pushed off previously because of the weather. We're hoping we can get that started this week. It's not detrimental or anything, but it's just something we're trying to get done and check off our list. A&H seal, very exciting. We've got seal going up. That'll be going on over the next few weeks. I don't know if anybody's been back there to see it. Looks pretty cool. And let's see. For the south building, PIPCO completed the gas tie-in on the 8th and repressure tested on the 9th. We did not have any issues. Everything went well. A&J Electric, Drees, and PIPCO will continue working on electrical, plumbing, and mechanical installations for the next few weeks. Overhead's almost complete. We just have some tie-ins to the electrical room and then where they are coming out of the ditch and then going back to the back phase A building. And then again, underground will tie into the east corner of the rear building. Site work, we're hoping to get started on the ditch, and GA Ridge can mobilize and get started on the sanitary sewer tie-in. For phases B, C, and D, we have a page turn on the updated 100% on Thursday, and then I will update the scopes, and our tentative goal is to get that out on the streets in December. First or second week is our goal. Hopefully get that going. We have approved guaranteed maximum price of $5.8 million. We're currently 22% complete on phase A. And then Nick will discuss the structural steel package, which is an add of $2.6 million later. And then the new GMP would be the $8.4 million. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
When you talk about the concrete ditch,
Yes.
but then you also talk about a mechanical ditch.
It's
Are they one and the
same
same?
ditch. It is the
Okay.
same, yes. So we have the concrete being cut by one subcontractor, and then all the mechanicals will install their stuff as another.
Okay.
Actually began today, taking that out.
Any other questions?
This is McBride. I have one. I didn't hear it when it left from Doug's report to the next one. What's with Maya's daycare? It says they're leaving.
December.
Yeah, they've asked to maybe possibly terminate their lease, and we're looking for replacement daycare to come in, like Peoria Early Head Start. They did a tour last week of the facility to see, what they could do to accommodate that space. And I think now they're working on getting their license to have that space.
Yeah.
Or permit. I think it's a license. And then we're gonna, Shammer and I will circle back with them probably in a few weeks to see where they're at. Maya's needs to, they want to be out by February.
December 10th
Yeah.
on this.
December, January, and we're gonna
Okay.
try to, whatever it is, they need to update or paint or fix or whatever, then we're gonna try to have Peoria Head Start, if that works out,
Okay.
take over that space, hopefully in February.
Okay. Thank you.
That's the plan.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Report, Angel, are you there?
She's back
Yes,
here.
he's right here.
Okay. I thought you were- Okay, thank you. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So for our month of October, report, most of it you have in front of you, but I'll just give you the highlights. We had, our on-time performance was 85%, far below what our goal is. Unfortunately, we're still having trouble hiring and retaining individuals. We've had an uptick in applications, which is great. Unfortunately, many of those applicants have not arrived for an interview, or they do not meet our minimum qualifications. So we had one person graduate recently. He's a new rehire. He worked with us for several months before, left, moved out of Tampa, and has come back home. So we're very happy he's back. We have another individual who used to work for me at City Lift many, many years ago, and decided that she missed it, so she's back. She should be completing her training tomorrow. Speaking of which, I want to let you know that tomorrow around between 11 and 12 o'clock, we are going to be at the Landmark Rec Center conducting the training course. Now, a little backstory on that is part of our training curriculum is an obstacle course. It's a 3-day obstacle course that the drivers must complete. They may go through the cones, both forwards and backwards, just judging what their skill level is. And it's really hard to find a location in order to do that, not only for the space purposes, but a lot of places are not interested in allowing that because they're fearful of parking lot damage or insurance purposes or what have you. We had met with Landmark last February, and they have been incredible partners with us. They let us use their lot on the side of the cinemas for free. We set up there whenever we would like, to stay there as long as we would like. They encourage us. They have just been absolutely fantastic. So I wanted to give a shout out to Landmark Rec Center. They were really, really happy to partner with them. As a matter of fact, we'll be having our happy anniversary and way to get through this past year party for all of our drivers and staff on December 4th. So we're very excited. And of course, we're having that at Landmark. So we're very happy. So anyway, tomorrow, Emily is going to be coming by to take a look, take some pictures, maybe do a Facebook Live. She put a media advisory out there in case any media wanted to come by and see. The trainer that we have has been doing this many, many years. He's just fantastic. So he'll be out there with a couple of the trainees and some of the drivers to show off their skills. So if you have nothing to do tomorrow at 11 o'clock, come by Landmark. We'll be there just taking a look at that course. Again, like I said, with the staffing, we're still recruiting. We're never going to stop recruiting. It's just been challenging and frustrating and disheartening of the individuals that do and do not come through, but we're not going to stop. We have ads everywhere. We have signs on the buses. Working with our agency partners, putting the word out there. They've got flyers at their facilities as well. So we will keep on keeping on that. For safety and training, last month we talked about how to safely navigate through intersections and fatigue management and wellness. We have a lot of drivers who are working on overtime, and we appreciate that, but we want to make sure that they keep their fatigue in mind as well. We don't want them to be too tired out there. Sometimes we've had to tell them, we know you cannot have overtime because you worked 7 days in a row. So, but they're very dedicated individuals, and they want to do that because they want to get our folks picked up. So we appreciate that. We wanted to give them some tools to help cope with that fatigue and wellness. As Ms. Pope said, during the ADA committee meeting we had last month, one of the things that I did a presentation on was the EcoLane mobile app. So the mobile app is up and running. We have slowly but surely, we're getting the word out there. We're going to put some signs on the vehicles. I have some flyers that we made up. We're getting those out to all of our agency partners. The word of mouth is going through, so we've been adding people to the app. People can book their trips on the app. They can look at their trips on the app. They can cancel their trips. A lot of folks right now, they'll still call us to book the trips because they might not be as comfortable with it. But what they really love, especially like caregivers, parents or children of some of our riders, they can go to the same user account and look at those trips. So they can see where the bus is and what time their loved one is being picked up. So it's a multiple benefit for the families. So we're really liking that. We've been having discussions with CityLink about upgraded tablets. I know Ms. Polk, you were very concerned about that with us. Chris has been diligently working with Verizon to try to get that taken care of. There's been a few delays, but I really appreciate everything you're doing to help make that happen. So once we get those, we will get them all transferred over and have those ready to go. One thing that we really had fun doing last month is we participated in the Advocates for Access Trunk or Treat event. They had asked during the ADA committee if we'd be interested in having a bus there. So we went all out, we decorated the heck out of a bus, we had it parked out there, we handed out candy, had a really good time with the families, letting them get on the bus, seeing what it's like on the bus. A lot of education, some of the families, a lot of the folks there, they were children with disabilities. So they weren't quite ready for public transit, but them getting on the bus and just seeing what it was like, showing them the securements and what, we didn't show them how the lift went up and down because we had it out, but explained it to them. It kind of, you could just see that it was, made them feel more comfortable. So we're really glad that we did that, and we really thank them for inviting us to that. Let's see, so I was gonna say, actually, that's pretty much about it. Today, I will, in full transparency, our phones have been down on and off all day. It's been a very challenging day. We have some burner phones. We're using our cell phones as much as we can. But unfortunately, trying to get the phone lines transferred to one cell phone has not been working very well. But this is a corporate-wide phone system, so they are working on it, and hopefully we'll have that going. But I want to thank, I know their supervisor in here, but I really want to thank the CSRs and Carla. Carla's Jackson, the transportation specialist for ADA, and also Linda and Sandy down at the transit center have been wonderful. They've been screening calls, because our email works fine, our internet worked fine. So they've been sending us emails about people who called and need a trip booked or trip canceled. So that's been really, really great. So I'm really happy with the partnership that we have with CityLink on that. And you got it?
Any questions, anyone? Thank you very much. Any public comments?
No, ma'am, nothing.
Okay, no old business. Next would be new business, resolution 2219, and that would be Nick.
Did you want to see that slideshow real quick before I do this?
My show.
Yeah, there's another
For
one.
next week.
No, it's a different one. It's about the new building. In the
Okay.
boardroom.
Okay,
Scroll down.
very good. Oh, yeah.
So this is some new renderings that Moeller sent us.
Mhm.
We're just kind of wanting to gauge your feedback and see if you like this type of idea better. It doesn't have to be these colors, but we don't know if you liked the design, the wood layout. If you go to the next one, there's slightly different. They're trying to make this to where, I don't know if you remember in the other boardroom pictures, they had those wood panelings, and they were going to run that through the entire building.
Yeah.
So now they're kind of trying to find a different shade of, I guess, the wood color. If we just get rid of the wood color altogether, which they have some other ideas I'll show you. But there's this gray, and this is a rendering of, you can go, this is a rendering of a potential office. I think pretty sharp. They have, kind of a black trim and all that. So it's kind of what it would look like. This is the other potential idea for a boardroom, which is the route they were trying to see if you like this. Because I don't know if you remember, but the silver metal paneling was kind of like that wood paneling that they had. And they were just seeing if you liked this better, the overall shape of where you would all sit, the colors. I don't know if you like the blue, if you like the red. This is another idea they had too, same thing, but they would have a drop down for the screens. So whoever's presenting, they could see people sitting behind it. Then you could also see sitting where you are. You will also have tablets in front of you, so you can like really see what somebody's presenting for you. That's just another way to spread all the information. See how they keep changing it? Seats change, and then they less wood, more metal. I don't know if you like the metal paneling, if you like the wood better. So go to the next one. Same thing. Saying this is the beat to your right. You walk in, and then this screen. I don't know if you like this screen idea. Kind of the thought behind this was you could still put the presentations up there, and you just have to turn, like we would have to turn to see people sitting in the audience. Or another idea was whenever you come in, we could put like a veil up there or have live feeds of what's going on in the city. So the buses are, you can sell the real-time information. That'd be pretty cool to have that there. Unless you have another idea for that space, just anything like that. Potential hallway. So I don't know if you remember, we had all the different wayfinding, whatever it was, where it's like yellow and green, I think was another color. So instead of doing that, they just went with, it's not black, they say it's kind of a darker gray. I don't know if you like this type of color. If you like these doors, so go to the next one. Put a yellow door. Yeah. Another visual aid of, what's that, the third level, so that'd be the level like Doug is myself on. So that's our conference room. That's just dispatch. That's another rendering that we threw on there. Kind of the dispatch office would look like. It's pretty sharp. Metal panel, wood. Which way do you think
I
you're
like
leaning
metal.
on this? You like the metal?
Or sleek.
You like the metal?
Yeah.
I like the metal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You like the metal? Do you like the blue? Do you like the red?
I prefer blue.
The blue looks.
So you like this? Here, go to the one with the screen. So you like this?
That's the best I've seen so far.
Okay.
Let me phrase it that way.
Okay, that's a good way to phrase it. Okay, then we'll keep developing, and as time goes on, we'll show you more and more of this as it becomes more detailed.
Can we just go back to the very first one you showed us, that's like, there. So like the day room, tell me what the purpose of the day room is again. Is this for employees?
Mhm.
Well, it's not inviting enough for me, because when an employee goes in there, it's for their lunch, their break. I think it should be more relaxing, not so sterile.
Okay, there's a whole section of this you don't see.
Okay.
There's like all the refrigerators and microwaves and ice machines, all that thing, come in and see where they're gonna eat.
Right, but what I'm saying is the furniture to me does not look inviting. It doesn't, it's
More couch-like chairs, so there's more.
just so it looks more relaxing. So when they come in, it's a place where they can relax and,
Okay.
and take away some of the stress and stuff that they're going through during the day.
Okay.
This doesn't do that for me.
We can definitely
Okay.
update.
All right.
Our architect's on here, so he's hearing everything you're saying, so
Okay.
we'll be trying to get some different renderings for you and go from there.
Maybe it's the colors.
Maybe. We can, whatever colors, that's the easiest thing to change in a building. is the colors. Okay.
Now for the important part.
The important part,
Okay.
the money.
I'm gonna go through it, okay.
Don't you have to say it?
Mhm.
You have to read it down?
Okay, yeah, you need to read it.
The first one.
The award recommendation.
The purpose of this summary is to recommend the approval of the structural steel package of the new operations building. So this is phases B, C, and D. So this is the final, because we're in phase A right now, and approve a new guaranteed maximum price. There was an invitation for bid that was issued. We had 3 bids that were received. Hanley Steel won. They are at $2,327,000. This bid was the most responsive and responsible and has met all of River City's construction scope review meetings. They met all the requirements. This would be the 4th contract amendment to the GMP. So it is recommended the board approves the structural steel package along with a new guaranteed maximum price of $8,461,390.84. So this is the steel for everything else.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
The motion and a second. Any discussion?
Who seconded?
Hmm?
Who seconded? Thank you, Patty.
You're welcome.
Any discussion? All in favor? No, I'm sorry. Sharon,
Whoa,
that's your
you'd have
job.
to write the check.
Honey. Okay,
Trustee Wortham,
approve.
trustee Hare,
Approve.
trustee Ahart,
Approve.
Trustee Polk,
Approved.
and Trustee McBride approve. The money can be spent.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Nick, are you doing
Yep, I'll do them for 'em.
next two? Okay,
So this is
2220.
Yeah, resolution 2220. The purpose of this summary is to authorize the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District to apply for fiscal year 21 FTA Innovative Coordinated Access and Mobility Pilot Program grant funds to support the operating costs to expand services into the Washington area. So we wish to expand its City Lift ADA paratransit services to the residents of Washington. The plan is to provide an initial period, pilot period for 4 months, starting on January of 2022, with the option to expand services for another year immediately after the pilot period. The grant that we're trying to apply for will support the operating costs in order to provide service. We estimate the annual cost to provide service to Washington is approximately $600,000. So it is recommended the Board of Trustees authorizes the general manager to apply for this grant for the funds to support the expansion services up to Washington.
I'll motion.
okay, motion,
I'll second it.
second, and we don't do roll call vote on this. This is just to apply for the
Yeah,
money,
this just
right?
gives us approval to do it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes, so apply for the money and get it.
Oh, we will.
Thank you very much. Okay, then, resolution
This is
22,
21.
okay, another grant, okay.
Okay, so the purpose of this summary is to authorize the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District to apply for fiscal year 21 FTA 5339B Bus and Bus Facilities Grant. Funds for the opportunity to purchase microtransit vehicles, Jeff was talking about. The Greater Peoria Mass Transit District received statewide planning and research funds to conduct a microtransit study. We received that. The study conducted in 2021, and we wish to launch microtransit services in Peoria.
What a microtransit.
They're little itty bitty buses. They're basically, it's an on-call service.
Okay,
Similar to Uber, they would call in, request their ride, we'd go pick them up and take them, as long as they're going along the same route. There's ride sharing you can do where you pick up other people and you keep on going to your destination. So instead of the big buses, because some people can't make it to their bus stops for whatever reason, they have handicaps, we just go to their door and get them and put them on this. It's the smaller type vehicle. It's those little transit vehicles that you see running around. That's what they would essentially be. And we would take them, as long as they're going along the route and they call ahead, we'll go pick them up.
Okay.
So it is recommended that the board authorizes the general manager to apply for 5339B grant funds to purchase microtransit vehicles. They're electric. They're cool.
they're electric.
I'll move that we pass this.
I'll second.
This is McBride, I'll second.
Okay. Any questions, discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes, you can apply for that money also. Okay. Resolution 2222,
Okay, the purpose of this summary is to authorize the general manager and our attorney to negotiate the acquisition of the property located at 111 Van Buren Street. And if negotiations are unsuccessful, authorized to use powers of eminent domain to file suit in order to acquire the property. We received 2 appraisals for this property, the highest one of the 2 being $40,000. The general manager and our attorney are currently under negotiations to purchase the property and wish to use powers of eminent domain if these negotiations are unsuccessful. It is recommended that the board authorizes the general manager and our attorney to negotiate the acquisition of the property located next door at 111 Van Buren. That in the event negotiations are unsuccessful, the board authorizes the general manager and the attorney to use powers of eminent domain to file suit to acquire the property for a construction project.
I'll make motion.
Okay,
A second.
discussion,
I do.
okay?
Help me with what act, the process of eminent domain, and then, talk to me about the not to exceed the $5,000. Where does that?
You're more versed in eminent domain than I am.
Mhm.
Right, so, let me explain where we're at. We've had two appraisals, the highest appraisal was $40,000. I've had, Doug has had discussions with this gentleman, I've had a number of discussions with this gentleman. He bought the property for $10,500 and put money into the building. And, that was like in 2004, a long time ago. He wants $238,000
Oh,
for a $40,000 house. So part of it is on the basis, just so you have an understanding, right? Part of it is on the basis of what he is looking for, the cash flow from the house, without taking into account depreciation improvements, all the other things that are involved in the process, and his ability to keep that house rented. Okay, so we're in a situation with someone who I've had these discussions with, and we've tried to work on and off with him, and ultimately he's basically said, "I'll explain it to the judge." So I have a feeling that our quote-unquote negotiation is just about to the end of the rope. And we need to send a specific written offer to him. That's a prerequisite to using condemnation to take the piece of property.
Okay.
And so it would involve, a legal proceeding to basically condemn the property and to try and obtain it. So it's going to be involved because his idea of what the property is worth doesn't really match up with what the law says, the evaluation should be. So let's just put it that way. So.
okay. And the not to exceed the 5,000, what?
That's for the legal expenses.
Got it.
Initially.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
I had a question about eminent domain. Is it any governing body can use the right of eminent domain? Or
We have authority under the local mass transit district act. That's why there's a reference in the resolution to that section of the local mass transit district act that gives us the authority to condemn property for our public purposes.
is that like a city law or is it more
It's a state
broad?
law.
State.
The
Okay.
local mass transit district act, yes, passed by the state of Illinois.
Is there anyone in that house right now?
Yes,
There's a
There are tenants.
person renting the home?
yes, there are tenants with children.
Okay.
One more question. So if we get the property via the eminent domain, do we pay them then the $40,000 that it was appraised, or what?
We pay them what the court determines. I mean,
Okay.
we're suggesting that it's worth $40,000 based on the appraisals. He's going to, I don't know what he's going to say, or what he's going to do to try and offer proof that the property is worth more. Ultimately, the court and or jury will determine what the value of the real estate is. If we can't reach an agreement, short of that.
We have no obligation to the renters that are there.
Well, not directly. I mean, they have a possessory interest in the real estate right now. Okay. Whether they're going to be in the property when we file suit and all that, I mean, they're certainly entitled to notice of what goes on. This gentleman has also indicated that to me that I think the renters are paid through the end of November, but that his intention then is, well, he indicated an intention to try and take the property and put it into Section 8 housing and increase his rental significantly. But he also complained to me about using Section 8 housing because then you have to meet a lot of inspection requirements, and that he was not enthusiastic about that. He's refused us to let us in the property to actually see the interior of it. So we haven't had it's not been a cooperative atmosphere. Let's just say that. He's an absentee landlord who lives in Tucson, Illinois.
Oh, wow, okay, thank you.
Okay, so.
Do we have a motion and a second? This has.
I'll
to be
make it.
Involves money, right?
You should
Yeah.
do a roll call.
Okay. Sharon,
Pardon?
this is a roll call vote.
Okay, trustee Wortham,
I approve.
trustee Hare,
Approve.
trustee Ahart,
Approve.
trustee Polk,
Approve.
trustee McBride, approve. Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, do you have the draft vaccine policy?
Doug says it is up in the air, which it is,
Okay,
the policy. We will discuss that with you in December.
so we're gonna table that to next time, okay? Okay. Okay, our financial report for October.
All right, thank you. The last one. This is for the summary, October 2021, all the financial activity in October. And as usual, we pay major in the labor, wage, salary, and benefit. And also, in this kind of construction project, we also pay for the several outside service fee, such as, and also the professional, such as AME and River City Construction Management, Construction Management at risk. The rest of it, the same. So compared with our budget, we do have some saving in this month. We spend less, almost 0.03% less than our monthly projection. Also, we pay for the capital expenditure in October. One is facility construction service, stage 4, for the $720,071.70. The other one is the transit center roof replacement. We pay for $614,025.90. In overall, combined with our operating expense and also capital expenditure, staff recommended board trustee approve our October operating expense of $2,892,648.85.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay, I got a second.
I second.
Okay. This is a roll call vote. Ms.
Yes,
Sharon,
ma'am.
okay,
Trustee Wortham,
approve.
trustee Polk,
Approve.
trustee Hare,
Approve.
trustee Ahart,
Approve.
trustee McBride, approve.
Okay.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Just a reminder of future meetings at 5:30 p.m. will be Monday, December 13th, 2021, and January the 10th, 2022. Another year, okay? Can I get a motion?
You have it.
A second?
Second. Go ahead.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Our meeting is adjourned. Okay, and thank you, Christine.